This topic today was actually suggested by a Patreon supporter originally. I feel like this Korean FAQ series can also be sometimes useful for a way for me to teach intermediate grammar that I wouldn't otherwise make a video about. And if you like this type of lesson, I can make more in the future. I wanted to talk about the difference though between these two forms, 모양이다 and the regular 것 같다. This can be used to mean to think or to be similar to something. 것 같다, to be like something. So how are these forms similar and how are they different? The word 모양 by itself means a shape or a form. And this is the regular word you'd say to describe a shape of something or how something looks, the physical way that it looks. So if you wanted to just talk about the shape of someone's face, you could say 얼굴 모양, the shape of a face. Or if you wanted to say a shape looks pretty, like I like the shape of that, you can say 모양이 예뻐요. Literally, the shape is pretty. And if you combine it with 이다, which is just the verb to be, you get to be in the shape of something or to be in the form of something. But this form isn't only used for describing the physical appearance of something, and it has some similarities with 것 같다, but also some significant differences. First of all, 모양이다 is only used for describing other nouns. By other nouns, I mean not yourself. So you cannot use this form to describe yourself. But what it means is literally to have the appearance of, to appear like, or it appears, how we'd say it. But I said this doesn't only work for physical appearances. It can also be used to describe how a situation appears. So it can be other nouns, and a noun can be a situation or a person, place, or thing. 같다, on the other hand, this form is when you're simply describing something, as in, it's like, or I think, or I guess. The main difference between these two forms is this. 모양이다 can only be used to describe some fact, some information that you know to be true. It's not just supposed to be used for your opinion. Whereas 것 같다, I think, or it's like, or I guess, this can be used for your opinion or to talk about some fact. So you can say, I think or I guess that today is cold. And it could be your opinion. Maybe to someone from Canada, it's warm today. But to you, I think it's cold. But if you were to use 모양이다, it should be something that you're absolutely certain about, not just your opinion. So you could say, it appears that the coffee is cold. It appears that that person is tall. In that sense, not your opinion, but it would have to be some sort of undeniable fact. So if it's a fact, you can use 모양이다. If it's not a fact, you have to use 것 같다 or another form. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about how to conjugate this form, but I do want to give you some examples so you can see how it's used. To use this, it's actually really simple. You just take any adjective and you attach 모양이다. And you conjugate the 이다 at the end however you'd like. So 이에요, 입니다, etc. You can use any descriptive verb conjugated into an adjective. For example, you can have 춥다 to be cold, like cold weather. And 춥다 as an adjective is 추운. Or you can have a action verb conjugated into an adjective in any tense. So the action verb 가다 conjugated into an adjective if you wanted to say like to go versus a person who goes. So we're using it as an adjective in Korean. You would get 가는, or in the future tense, 갈, or in the past tense, 간, 모양이다. So this is the basic idea. You use an adjective, which can be a descriptive verb or an action verb, conjugated to an adjective. So conjugated in such a way that you can put it directly before a noun, making it an adjective, followed by 모양, and then 이다 conjugated however you'd like. Another common way you might see this is with a noun, and then in from the verb 이다, the descriptive verb 이다, conjugated as an adjective. So let's take a look at a few examples. 비가 올. Now, 올 comes from the verb 오다, to come, in the future tense, which is 을 after a consonant or just 릴 after a vowel. Rain will come, and we have an adjective here, 모양, shape. So it is the shape of rain will come is what this literally means. But a translated version would be, it appears, it looks like, it will rain. Remember again, this has to be based on a fact. So you couldn't just look outside and there's, it's a sunny day and say, oh, it appears it's going to rain. Because it has to be a fact. There has to be some reason for you to strongly believe that. You could, however, say, 비가 올 것 같아요. But now this means I think it will rain. You could say this sentence if a completely sunny day, you go outside and you say, oh, I think it's gonna rain. It's only your opinion. Whereas if you use 모양이에요, 모양이다, it has to be a verifiable fact. There has to be a legitimate reason why you would say that. So maybe you go outside and it's cloudy and it's extremely dark, and you look at the weather forecast and the weather forecast says it's going to rain. Then you can say 비가 올 모양이에요. It appears like it's going to rain. 철수 씨가 바쁜. So we have busy as an adjective. It appears 철수 is busy. So if you see 철수 working really, really hard, doing various tasks, you can say 철수 씨가 바쁜 모양이에요. Oh, it appears that 철수 is busy. 열심히 공부한. So here we have an adjective from the verb 공부하다, to study, in the past tense by adding 은 after a consonant or 니은 after a vowel. It appears that you studied hard. So maybe after looking at their grade, they got 100% on the test and they're tired, they look like they're just hopped up on coffee, then you can say 열심히 공부한 모양이에요. It appears that you studied hard because I can see that, I can verify it. You've studied hard, clearly. The way that this form is most often used is together with this form. You first take a verb and you change it into an adjective, the same way as before. Then you add 걸, most often, which is 것을. 걸 보니까, literally, seeing as how, for example, seeing as how there are many clouds in the sky right now. 비가 올 모양이에요. Now you're conveying to the other person, seeing as, you're conveying to them the actual reason how you know that that's an undisputable fact. And now you are able to use this 모양이에요 form whenever you want. You don't have to wait until the other person knows it. Now it's 보니까 or 보니. I would say 보니 is more common though. Same meaning, but this has slightly more of a formal sounding usage to it. 보니까 is a little more casual. 구름이 많은 걸 보니, seeing as how, here we have an adjective, there are many clouds. 비가 올 모양이에요. Seeing as there are many clouds, it appears it will rain. So now you've given the person listening a reason why you feel that way, a reason why you can prove that your assumption will be correct. I'll write that one more time. 보니. And then you finish the sentence with 모양이다. So while you could just walk in your kitchen and see a cup of coffee and say, 커피가 차가운 것 같아요. I think the coffee is cold with 것 같다. You could not use that with 모양이다 because you have no way of proving that the coffee is cold or no reason to know that for sure. But you could say something like this. Sorry, I know I'm going on like the very end of the screen here. So 김이 안 나는 걸 보니. So 김 would be like the steam from coffee. 김이 안 나는. Seeing as how there's no steam coming out. 커피가, the coffee, 차가운 모양이에요. So seeing as there's no steam coming out of it, the coffee appears to be cold. Whereas you don't need this explanation at all if you're just going to use the 것 같다 form. So that's the main difference between them. Two more things I wanted to mention. 모양이다 sounds slightly more formal. So if you're able to use both 모양이다 or 것 같다 will be more commonly used. And that's the second thing. 것 같다 is 1,000 times more commonly used than 모양이다. That's not to say 모양이다 is useless or that it's not used in conversation. It is, just much less often than 것 같다 because it has slightly more of a formal, a little bit more of a fancy sound to it. So any other questions? Can you think of another example sentence where you use 모양이다? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Also thanks to my Patreon supporters as well as my YouTube supporters. See you guys again. 그럼 다음에 또 봐.